What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Trainer Talk Podcast. On today's show, I have a guest on. She's actually doing a lot right now. She's competing for Miss America. She already has the Miss Canyon Hills crown. She's a dance instructor. She's a trainer. She does a bunch of different things on the side as well. Please welcome my guest, Madison Coryell. I'm not sure if you're familiar with our podcast, but we like to do a lightning round with 20 questions in the beginning just to get things going. Okay.
Awesome. Cool.
So the first question, Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce.
Okay. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Okay. Favorite lift that you like to do? Shout out to Javier, by the way.
Deadlift.
Whoa.
Yes.
You like to deadlift,
I love
huh?
deadlifting, yes.
Wow. Okay. Barbells or dumbbells?
Ooh. I want to say I'm leaning towards barbells now these days.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Why the change? Just like it better?
It's more challenging, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So polka dots or stripes?
Stripes.
Paper or computer?
It depends, but mostly paper.
Okay. Ooh, old school.
Yes.
Okay. How many hours of sleep do you need to function?
Minimum of 8.
Okay. Favorite season?
Fall.
Okay. Last Halloween costume?
Ooh, what was I? Ooh, memory. Okay. I was, oh my gosh. This is what we call cognitive flatulence, the brain fart.
Okay.
I was a cat. That's what I was. Took me that long to remember that I was a cat.
Would you rather be an Instagram fit model or an Instagram influencer?
Probably a fit model. I mean, I'm trying to influence as many people as possible being Miss Canyon Hills.
Okay.
But it'd be fun to model.
Okay. Breakfast or dinner? Forever?
Forever?
Yeah.
Breakfast.
Okay. I'm on the same boat. Hair in your food. Do you return it or not say anything?
Return it for
Okay.
sure. That's gross.
You'd be surprised. Your favorite sport?
Ooh. Can dance count? Because that's my favorite.
Sure. That
Yes.
can count. Yeah, it's a sport. All right. Celebrity crush.
I would like to say, oh gosh, celebrity crush. This is so hard. Let's go with Brad Pitt.
Wow.
I have
Okay.
all of them. Why not?
All right. Favorite comedian?
Kevin Hart.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
I love that guy. Okay. Disneyland or Six Flags?
Disneyland. Sorry, I've worked for
Wow.
Disneyland.
Okay, that was quick.
One
She
of
jumped
them.
the gun on
Woo!
that one. Like, wow. Okay. Have you ever tasted soap?
Yes, it's gross. Mostly sometimes I just don't rinse off my dishes all the way.
Okay. Country or bluegrass?
Country.
Are you a big country fan?
I like country.
Okay. Most hours a day you spent watching TV?
I try to keep it small. Sometimes I never watch TV. Sometimes I'll just end up binging. But
Wow.
most of the time, it's like 2 hours.
Okay. That's
I'll watch
not
2
bad.
episodes.
It's not bad. Do you Instagram your food?
No, but sometimes I have, like, on avocado day, I posted avocado toast, some random
You have
stuff
avocado
like that.
day?
Well, there's National Avocado Day, yeah.
When is that? No
I
idea.
don't know. That was sometime during quarantine, I think. I was trying to get, like, creative with my social impact, or with my social media, and I was like, what can I post? I'm like, oh, it's avocado day. Here, look at my avocado toast.
So that is it for the questions. Thank you. So I don't even know where to start because Madison, you are juggling like 20 different things at once. First, how do you do that?
Well, I have a calendar and I use stickers and colored pens.
I was going to ask that. Do you color coordinate?
Yes. Well, it's not really that the colors have any coordination to them. I just like rainbows. So I just kind of I separate everything different colors. So there's like no, if I'm training a client and then I have to go teach dance, those are going to be different colors.
Okay.
So one client is assigned to one color and then like one style of dance is assigned to another color. It doesn't really have much rhyme or reason to it.
Okay. So, and we were talking about this earlier. you're not going for a beauty pageant. You're more for a, what is it called?
Scholarship pageant.
Scholarship pageant.
Yes.
Okay. And if you can you differentiate the both of those just so everybody understands what both of them mean?
So Miss America is part of a scholarship organization, which means that we are competing to get scholarship funding to support our scholastic admissions. So I wanted to attend Chapman University, which is a very prestigious university, very expensive. I have a lot of student loans, and I am a very competitive person. I love competing. I used to do competitive dancing when I was younger. So I was like, what else can I do? Oh, wait a minute. There's Miss America. I can still compete, and I can get scholarship funding to help me with my scholastic endeavors.
Okay. What made you want to go into that? Like, did that start at a young age, or did that come later in life?
Actually, back when I was 16, one of my friends, said she was going to go do Miss Garden Grove. She was like, come do it with me. So I'm in high school at this point. I was like, yes, that sounds great. So then I go and I do it. She actually drops out and doesn't do it. And it's like, I don't know, 2 weeks before the competition. Mm-hmm. And then I was suffering from chronic anxiety and depression at the time. And I just could not do it anymore. We had to meet every Sunday for a certain amount of weeks. And it was a big commitment for me at that time. And so I dropped it. And then it was, I want to say, my freshman year of college. One of my girlfriends, she was like, I'm doing Miss Garden Grove. I was like, I was going to do that like a couple years ago. I'm like, this is fate. I need to get back into this. It was way too soon for me to be able to put together the paperwork and everything, because the paperwork is kind of strenuous. You need to do this whole resume, and then also this social impact initiative statement, which is, so basically you're writing papers.
You're applying for a job, essentially.
You're applying for a job, essentially, yeah. So you have that resume, you're answering these questions, and then that social impact initiative statement is basically, so I was explaining to you earlier, mine is Dance, the Path to Wellness, where I host community-based dance classes teaching them dance as a form of therapy. And so you basically write a paper on that and why that's important to you, what you've done with it so far, and what you want to do with it in the future. And at that point, I was like, I don't have time for this. And so I kind of pushed it off for, I don't know, a couple of months, and I did Miss Anaheim. And I think that was when I met Valerie. I did Miss Anaheim.
Shout out to Valerie.
Yes, shout out to Valerie. And then I fell in love with it, and I had to keep going. Like, I did not place at all. Actually, lied. I actually did Miss Garden Grove the next year because it was coming up way too soon. So I just waited, pushed it off. And then I did Miss Garden Grove, my very first pageant. I believe that was 2017. I believe it was 2017. Okay. And then I got third runner-up. So it was crazy. I got a crown and everything. And I was like, woohoo, my first pageant ever. I actually placed. It was crazy. And then I did Miss Anaheim. That's when I met Valerie. And then I went and I did Los Angeles County and then the sweeps. I did not place any of those. I mean, I think I got Miss Congeniality at Los Angeles County.
What's Congeniality?
Okay, so everybody has seen Miss Congeniality, the movie, right?
Sorta. Parts and clips.
Okay. Yeah. Well, basically, all of the girls that are competing, they vote for somebody. They're like, this person is the nicest person. They're the best. I support them. Miss Congeniality all the way, right? So everybody that's competing votes. And so for whatever reason, my first year competing at Los Angeles County, they were like, we like Maddie. She's great. And so I won Miss Congeniality that year, which was excellent and amazing.
Congratulations.
I did not know what I was doing at all my first year competing.
Right.
So that was great. But then year number 2 competing, I was kind of figuring it out. And then did Miss Anaheim again. And then I got first runner-up at Miss Anaheim. Mm-hmm. And then I got first, I don't know if it was first or second runner-up at Miss Orange County. And then first or second at Los Angeles County. And then first runner-up at the sweeps, which the sweeps is basically like at the end, like, let's give away 4 titles.
Right.
Here is a pass to go to Miss California, basically.
That is insane. You've done a lot.
Oh, so many.
What keeps you going as far as being on this path to Miss America? Like, why do you keep doing this? What's your purpose behind it?
Well, each pageant, you meet so many amazing, strong women, and you're surrounding yourself with women who want to succeed. And you're all there for the same thing, for the same reason, because you want to reach your scholastic ambitions. You want to build pathways, build bridges, and open doors to get there. And so I love going just to meet new people, meet new girlfriends. Actually, some of the ladies that I've competed with are my closest friends.
Aw.
I know.
Sweet.
It's sweet. And then also just never giving up and having faith that I can do it, that it's just me growing. And every time that I didn't win, because it did take me, this was my 10th pageant that I finally won.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So every time that I didn't win, it just pushed me to grow more. Like look into myself and see where I can grow, where I can push to become a better version of myself.
Because you're at a level now, since you've done 10, that's a lot. So you put a dent into what you want to become. Do you ever have people that look up to you and be like, oh, I saw you here. Like, I want to be where you are someday. Or I saw you here, like on social media. Like, what do? Do you ever run into those instances or like those small interactions with people?
Yes, pretty much all the time. There's a bunch of little girls that are like, oh my gosh. And there's also just a bunch of people that have seen me at all of these pageants. Like, I've been rooting for you all of this time. Like, I've really seen you grow. And it's just really amazing being able to have those interactions. And I hope that soon everything can resume to normal so I can have more of those interactions and just tell them that they just need to become the best version of themselves. You're not really, when you go in to compete, you're not competing against those other ladies. You're competing against yourself. Like, what can you do to become your best version of you?
Yeah.
And that's what I just try to tell everybody.
I agree. I think people get lost too because competitions, right? Whether it's pageants or physique competitions or power meets or any like CrossFit, people look at that, oh, I'm going to beat this guy. But I think people forget is that, hey, if I ran a mile, did I do way better here at the competition I was at than I was at practicing? Or did I not? Like, people kind of get that mixed up and they get lost into whatever realm they're in, whether it's beauty pageants or scholarship pageants or any type of powerlifting meets too, you get those people sometimes that just want to own everybody and don't look in the mirror and feel like, dang, I lifted way more than I ever did. I'm proud of myself, Does it put more pressure on you that you have a lot of people looking at you, or does it stay the same because you're being looked at now as kind of a role model in a way? So you kind of have to watch your every move, right? So is that a lot harder for you, or you just kind of go like doing about your own thing, not really worrying?
Actually, the eyes on me helps. It helps hold me accountable for myself.
Really?
A big thing. So social facilitation, right? That's a word that we've learned in psychology since I did study psychology. That's something where you're either going to shoot for the stars and go for it with all of the weight that are on your shoulders, or you're going to crash and burn. And so basically, I love it. I love the attention. It helps me grow to become the best version of myself. So when I am in front of a crowd, I tend to shine. It's the eyeballs on me, whatever it is. I don't know why. I just show up.
Okay.
I show up and I stand up and I'm like, here I am. I'm going to do it.
Right.
And so being Miss Kenyon Hills, I have that extra eyes on me. So every morning when I wake up, I'm like, you know what? What can I do today to help get me to become the best version of myself? And that's the conversation that I'm having with myself constantly. So those few days that I do end up binge watching on Netflix, especially, I know everybody's doing that these days with COVID and everything. It's stressful. Sometimes you just find yourself sitting down watching TV and then you think to yourself, you're like, why am I doing this?
Yep.
What does this help me get to where I want to become? And you're like, no. And then you find yourself getting off the couch. You just have to have that conversation with yourself. And so having those eyes on me and being in the public eye, it's really helping me focus and get on the path of success.
So you work just really well under pressure. That's how you're built.
I love it.
Okay. Yeah, that's how I am too. It's if what is that saying? Only diamonds are made under pressure. So a lot of people can either do great and do better, or a lot of people can crash and burn. And I mean that's good, especially for you too. Like, to have the drive that you do with all the stuff that you're doing and all eyes on you, not a lot of people can do that. It's very hard. You're like a little local celebrity in a way.
I try to be.
Another question too, I wanted to ask you is, so pageants have this kind of misconception of when little girls start out, right? a lot of parents usually get their kids into pageants, whether I'm not in the industry. I don't know what they're about, but a lot of parents usually get their kids in too early, and that kind of creates a negative domino effect depending on who the parent is and how that girl or boy grows up individually. What's your take on that as far as kids starting out in that industry or in that realm?
It kind of depends on the pageant system that you're putting your kid into. So if you're putting your kid into a beauty pageant, that might have a different outcome on your kid and their growth to becoming an adult. But if they're going into the Miss America organization, so they have, or at least Miss Anaheim, we have the Shooting Stars. And it's basically where we have kids from the community. They come, they learn a dance, they learn like interview skills and a bunch of other stuff. And they come and they dance, they do their dance, they have an onstage portion, and they're just part of our competition that we do yearly. And so I think having that introduction to the stage and to public speaking is actually something that's very beneficial for child rearing and growing up to become a successful and independent adult. But beauty pageants are completely different because then you have that beauty standard and you have to look a certain way, act a certain way, speak a certain way, stand a certain way. And having all of those things that you have to do to be able to be seen as competent enough to be able to win, that can be damaging and that can be crushing. And I understand where that's coming from. So it really depends on the pageant system. And that's the advice that I guess I would say.
What do you think about that, though?
I mean,
your honest opinion.
My honest opinion.
Because you're in it. I'm not, so I can't really have an opinion. I would say I only look from outside, but you're inside of it. So what would your honest opinion be on that?
It depends on what the kid wants to do. That's how my mom raised me. If me and my sister wanted to go do cheerleading when we were younger, we did cheerleading. We wanted to go do dance, we did dance. That's what we did. So if my kid wants to go and do beauty pageants, I'm going to support her. That's what she wants to do. But I would never put any pressure on my kid. Be like, you have to have all of this makeup done. You're wearing that dress.
Right.
I would never do that to my kid unless she wanted it, you know?
Essentially, it's the kid so the parent is living through the kid. And that's what I see. And it happens in sports. It happens in that. It happens in everything else. You'll see those helicopter parents that will do that to their kids, and it burns the kid out. And you'll see the kid grow up into a different reality than what's actually outside of the realm. You know,
Absolutely.
it's kind of sad to see. I mean, it happens all over the place. And I mean, there's only so much you can do and what you can control as far as your people that you have in your circle. But other than that, it's very sad to see because I've seen it in sports too. It's you see the kid drained, or you see the kid doing really well, but their ego is so high at a very young age that in life they're gonna get whatever they want because of how they were raised. You know, and I think that's become a very big issue, especially nowadays. You know, when somebody throws a temper tantrum, you have mom or dad there, or you have a quick fix, because that's what life's all about now, is those quick fixes and not learning to be comfortable with yourself. You know, you have to be uncomfortable in those situations to figure out a way to fix it. You know,
100%.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's kind of sad when I look at it, especially how generations are going now. I was talking about this on my last podcast episode of how every generation is getting a little softer, and we're experiencing instant gratification. So anything we want, we need to have it now, instead of waiting long term and getting that long term gratification. We want that something instant, and once we get that, we now move on to the next thing, and on to the next thing, and on to the next thing too. So with kids in general, I mean, do you plan on coaching kids in this realm or category that you're in as far as sorry if I'm messing it up. What is it called?
Scholarship competition.
Scholarship competition, yeah.
Well, basically, for Miss America, they have the teen program and they have the Miss program. So they have, I believe it's age 12. I think it's age 12 to 17, and then there's 18 to 25. So basically, those are the age ranges for people to compete. But like I said, our shooting stars for the Miss Anaheim organization, that there's, I don't know, I want to say age 6 or 7 till age 11.
Okay.
And them, sure, help them with their public speaking, all of that stuff. But they don't really need much coaching. It would be more the teens and the miss. And any miss that needs help, any girl that's wanting to compete for a miss competition, of course, I would be super happy to help them.
Right.
Like, yes, you want to be the next Miss Canyon Hills? Let me help you get there.
Because you've been there.
I've been there. And the hardest part is, for me, it was the interview part of the competition. So you have all of these judges asking a bunch of questions, and you have to be able to answer them confidently under all of this pressure. Like, the biggest thing for me was my voice was like, la, 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 la. It was so bad. I could not talk normally. It was shaky. It was a mess. But it's just about being yourself. That's the biggest thing. Telling everybody, coaching all of them would just be like, be yourself. Walk with confidence.
Right.
Own it.
Right.
It's all of that. It's not, you don't need so much coaching necessarily for these competitions. I feel like other pageant systems might need more coaching.
Right.
And also that's where another issue goes wrong, is because then when you're watching those scholarship, or they're not even scholarship, well, they do have some scholarship organizations out there that are other than Miss America. When you're watching those other beauty pageants, you can see how coached they are just watching them on stage, watching them walk. That's something that's very refreshing for the Miss America stage, is when you watch people walk, they're more organic because they don't have all of these coaches necessarily.
Right.
And that's kind of refreshing to
They're
watch.
putting their own personality in a way in their walk and the way that they talk and stuff like that. And they're basically timesing it by 10. They're just flaunting it, making it more seen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, because a lot of people too, especially girls and guys, it's hard nowadays for people to be themselves because of social media as well. It's very, very hard because they feel like they need to be like this person or that person that they see on Instagram or Facebook or whatever page they're on. And it's a lot of kids, if they are trying to feel themselves or be themselves, their friends are following this person, then they feel like the outcast.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your take on that?
Well, when I was growing up, you always have this struggle of like, who am I? Like, who should I be? And then you see like the popular people and you see like the popular older kids and you're like, ooh, I want to be them. But really, that's not the thought process that you should be having, because that can be detrimental. That can shape you into have this negative self-concept. Instead, you should look into yourself and be like, yes, you can be an astronaut. You can be whatever you want, little kid. It's whatever you want to be. Exactly. Sky's the limit. Just be yourself. Be you. There is no other you on this world. So that's the most important thing. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't try to be the next Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant already happened.
Yeah.
So be the best you. Go be whoever you are instead of trying to be somebody else, because you're never going to be able to, because you're not them. Doesn't mean that you can't be better than them, but you never will be them. Yeah,
you're your own person essentially. Like
Absolutely.
that's you. And what kids and people don't realize too, we've all had it. Like, all of us in this room, we've grown up into a little group that you have in middle school, you follow to high school, and then you guys go your own paths. So that only lasts for 4 years? And then when you're going into college, you have no idea who anybody is when you're at a college by yourself. That's when you have to figure out, all right, who am I now? Mm-hmm. Like, who is Alex? Who is Roscoe? Who is Valerie? Who is Madison? Like, who am I as a person? And then they feel like they need to follow a group or follow somebody else, when it's like, no. Kind of have a talk with yourself and figure out who you are as a person. So that's good that you guys highlight on that, because I feel like that's very important, especially to a younger person's self-esteem, or a little bit older to a person's self-esteem too. It's very important. Where did you grow up at?
I grew up in Anaheim, actually.
Okay.
Yes.
All your life?
I went to school in Garden Grove, but I lived in Anaheim.
Okay. All your life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you played sports in high school? I
danced.
You danced?
Mm-hmm.
How long did you dance for?
I've been dancing for 10 years.
What?
Yes, I auditioned for a middle school's dance team, and I somehow made it. It was crazy. I had no dance experience. I mean, other than when my sister was old enough to do Tiny Tots. So my sister is 2.5 years older than me.
What's Tiny Tots?
Tiny Tots. So basically the youngest age that you can be, I want to say it's like 4. You have to be 4 years old and you're basically doing combo class, which is kind of what I teach. So you do tap and ballet. That's Tiny Tots. It's very basic. You're just moving around, tapping your feet and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I was 2.5 years younger. So I was, I don't know, 2. And I was dancing, keeping up with the 4-year-olds. So that's my only dance experience. And then I went and I auditioned for my middle school's dance team and made it. And we were dancing every day. And I just fell in love with it. And I kind of caught the dance bug. That's what my dance teacher, Miss Adling, called it. So.
And you're a teacher now, right? You said you teach about 3 kids a class, correct?
I teach, well, because of COVID and all of this stuff, of course, classes are kind of smaller. So the most that I've had in one of my classes is 6.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What keeps you in tune with dancing and helping the kids and still going as a dance instructor?
It's my passion for dance. So movement is therapy. So you know that in the exercise realm, you know that. And then also when you put on a song and you just cannot help but move and dance to it, and it just kind of makes you feel so much happier, so much lighter. Movement and dancing, it's therapy. So that's kind of what keeps me going on it, because dance truly saved my life. I told you earlier how when I was a senior in high school, I was going through chronic anxiety and depression. I was dancing 20 plus hours a week at this point, and I had this chemical imbalance and I had to figure it out. I was like, okay, I go to psychiatry. Take that medicine. That medicine just doesn't really do much for me. I go to therapy. It doesn't really do much for me. Talking about my problems, I don't really have any. I was a straight A student in high school. I had everything going for me, you know? But then I had this mental illness that was taking control of it. Mm-hmm. But dance was my outlet. Dance was the one thing that I could control. You know, I can control my body. I can make it do these things. I can listen to the music and I can express my emotions through it. And so that's what I did, and it saved my life. I'm no longer on medication, and I want to tell everybody that it's possible. You can recover from a chronic chemical imbalance, chronic anxiety and depression, whatever your mental illness is. You just have to take care of your body, follow your passion, and keep it in your life always.
Yeah.
So I will never stop dancing because it's my passion, and I will always do it because it's important. It saved my life, and I need to give back to it and always go back to it.
Right.
And so I always tell people, I'm like, if you love something, keep going for it. Like if you love baseball, why should you stop playing baseball? Just because you're getting older? No. Age is but a number. You know, there's old guys playing baseball at the park. I see it happening. Go for it. Do it. Love your life and live it.
Yeah.
And so just my passion, I guess, keeps me dancing always.
You ever go in it like you all, like this pertains to all of you, but you're driving in a car, your favorite song comes on, and then you just like your mood just goes up at heights, like, yeah, like all of a sudden your day turns a complete 180. Like I've had that experience too.
Mm-hmm.
Like music is there. I agree. It heightens everything.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you heighten, whether it's your workouts or your dance or just you're a mood or you're having a crappy day and you put on your favorite song and you're kind of like jamming to it and then you feel better. You know, and as far as like what you went through in high school, do you ever run into those same problems with the young girls that you dance with or that you're in the same pageants with as well? And do you ever help them through it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Because I know that's a big thing, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're at these competitions, sometimes they can be very stressful.
Right.
And so some of these girls, like we all have had our mental breakdown at the competition. Like, believe me, I did it. I messed up one of my hoop tricks and I was being like the biggest critic of myself. Nobody even knew. And I was just like, I messed it up. I ruined it. That is the end. And I just lost it. But it's just about like we were explaining earlier, like did you do pretty good? Yes, you did very good. You're improving every single minute. You always have to look back, sit down and look at your mindset. Look where you are now. Ground yourself and reflect. And so that's why I tell everybody, they all are sitting down, like you're freaking out. And it's like, just breathe. You're okay. Like we all freak out sometimes.
Right.
I'm always telling everybody, because I have my experiences, right, and my knowledge with psychology. I tell them, if you ever need anything, reach out to me. I'm here for you. And recently with the layoffs at Disney, so many of my friends are freaking out, right? I'm one of the 28,000 too. I used to dance in the parades and now I don't have that. And that's been a livelihood for a lot of us cast members. It's been part of our lives. So everybody, they're having mental health issues now. They're freaking out. It's a part of their heart that's now missing. And so I'm just there like, if you guys need anything, I'm here for you. And you just remind them everything that you have in life is precious. It's amazing, and just appreciate every moment that you have.
Right. Yeah, I saw that too when that came on the news, the huge amount of people that they laid off at Disney. I was like, what?
It's crazy.
Like, it's ridiculous. And with whole COVID thing too, what people aren't understanding, so I train a therapist, and she's telling me that she's seeing a lot more patients during COVID with mental health disorders than she's seen before COVID, because everybody's cooped up in their house. You have, one, domestic violence cases are going through the roof between partners. People are getting locked in, so psychologically they're not in tune with reality or with anything else outside of their household. So it's I think it's been a huge, rude awakening for everybody. You know, like you said, movement is medicine, especially working out too. Like me as a coach, it's important, especially for me now, to instill, hey, you need to come to the gym. You know why? Because I know you're working from home, and I know this is the only time you get out of the house. This is it, 1 hour. And I only see you 2 times a day or 2 times a week. Okay, so it's very important that people get out more or work out more or dance more, or, I don't know, go to the park and dance. Like, do whatever it needs to be, because like as a whole nation, we're not doing well physically, emotionally, and mentally.
Oh, 100%. It's so important. It's more important now than ever to make sure that we're taking care of our mental health. With the way that the world is, the instant gratification, the speed of our world, everything is so fast. Everybody is driving so fast. In California, nobody goes the speed limit. That's just how fast all of our lives go. It's just faster than the speed limit.
Yeah.
You know? It's so true. And so then you just lose track of yourself. You lose where you are mentally. And then that's one good thing that's come out of all of this quarantine and everything, is we've had that reset to be able to look at our lives and see, are we happy with what we were doing? We weren't even thinking about our mental health until now. We're forced to look at our life. Are we happy? Are we unhappy? Can we do something else to make us happier? And all of that stuff. And then also so the beginning of quarantine was great, right? We're asking ourselves all of these questions. And then we open back up. Everything's great, right? We're still waiting for things to return to normal, but they're getting there. And then we're shut down again.
Right.
And then everybody's mental health keeps declining. It's like, when can life go back to normal?
Right.
We want to be individuals, right? Self-sustaining individuals. We want to be able to go to work,
exactly,
earn our living and make money, be able to buy our own things instead of the government having to do all of that. Yet they don't want that to happen yet. And it's just so hard. It's like, I want to go back to work. Like, that is something that's so important for our mental health, is to be able to know that we are independent individuals and we can fend for ourselves. Yeah. Right?
No, I completely agree too. And that kind of separates those kind of people who actually want to go back to work, and that those people who don't and take advantage of the system. I hope, you're right, I hope everything kind of goes back to normal. We're at an uphill battle, but I'm always the type of person where I'm very optimistic no matter the situation I'm given, right? So, okay, well, this happened when our facility shut down. Okay, great, our facility shut down. I'm going to find a different route. I'm going to train clients at home. Hey, let's do Zoom real quick. I'm not a big fan of Zoom, but I'll do it. I'll do 1 time a week with you on Zoom, and then I'll go to your house. I'll train you the other 2. So it's those people like you, like me, like everybody in this room, and the hard workers in the United States, they find different routes to make it work. And they find different routes to work because that's who they are as people. Have you ever gone so fast, though, going back on what you said, have you ever gone so fast that you kind of need to take a few steps back and you're like, wait, okay, I'm doing too many things at once here. Let me kind of dial it back.
I was never able to take a step back. Like I was saying earlier, I was going to school full-time at Chapman University. I was doing Miss Canyon Hills things. I was working at Disneyland. I was working at 24 Hour Fitness as a trainer. I was trying to sell as much training as possible, train as many sessions as possible. So I would go to work before school, then I would go to school, then I would go back to work till 8 p.m. and then go home and do homework. And I was so burnt out. I don't know how much caffeine I was drinking.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yes. So I am an avid coffee drinker. I love coffee. I love energy drinks. I love pre-workout. It's just caffeine is just my happy place. You know, it makes me feel great. Like I feel like myself. If I'm tired. So like I was saying earlier, I need 8 hours to function. If I don't get my 8 hours, I have headaches. I have to drink coffee. So I drink 3 shots of espresso every morning.
Wow.
And then, yes. And then I have, like everybody has their like, I don't know, afternoon, sleepy, tired. You need to pick me up. So I'll either do more coffee or it's about to be my workout time. So I'll drink my pre-workout and get in my workout. And that's,
you have no slow down button, huh?
No, I don't. I just full speed. I'm like a steam train. I just go all the time. But that's the way that I like it.
Okay. Have you ever gotten to the point that you've been burnt out though? Like where you're like, should I? Because we get to a point and it's, again, with all of us, we're like, am I really happy? Is this worth it? Should I keep going? Kind of doubting yourself. Have you ever gotten?
100%. 100%. So that's the thing, right? So like I said, I used to be a trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. And right now, actually, they're trying to give me an ultimatum. Either go back or don't go back.
Well,
because
what are their terms?
They want me to work 15 hours a week. And right now, I'm doing private training on the side. I just love to do everything, right? I'm also studying real estate. I'm doing Miss Canyon Hills stuff.
Wow.
I want to do it all, right? But if I go back and if I do that, everything then I'll be overworking myself and I just know it. My main thing is I want to do Zumba. So I got my Zumba certification during quarantine and I would love to go back and teach Zumba, but I don't want to go back and be a personal trainer for them, get paid $20 an hour when my clients are paying almost $80 to the hour.
Yeah.
So
what made you want to become a trainer?
Actually, at the Miss Anaheim competition, the last one that we had, a swimsuit competition, Javier actually approached me. One of my girlfriends that I competed with, Hannah, she was friends with Javier. And so he just reached out to me randomly like, hey, you have so much potential. So at this point, I actually won the Lifestyle and Fitness Award and I had never done any gym stuff ever. So dance workouts, only crunches, squats, plank. I would go on runs before pageants. It was like hardcore, like diet, run, do all the cardio, everything. That's what I knew at the point, right? And then Javier was like, let me train you. Let me show you what I know. And I'm like, I don't know this guy. I don't know about it, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. And I did. And then I fell in love with working out. And it correlates over into dance so much. So I pick up this movement so easy, the exercises, and I just love it. And there's so much that translates from dance into fitness that actually helps me as a trainer. So like when you're finishing your workouts, like you're on rep 10 of 10, right? Do you complete that rep or do you just throw it in the trash? Like you need to complete that rep, make it count because that's the end of the routine. Like that's the end. So with dance, when you're doing across the floor, it's like you go for your jeté and then you have to have your ending position and then you're done. You don't get to just, I'm done. That's the last rep. No, you have to make it count. Same thing. My favorite, the deadlift, right? So many people just throw away the eccentric motion of the deadlift. They just throw it away. They get the barbell off the floor and they're like, I'm happy. That's it. Done. And they drop it and you hear the loud kaboom. And it scares you so much. Like you're on the other side of the gym and you just hear boom. And then you look over, you're like, oh, they're doing deadlifts. Yeah. But then you think about it, you're like, oh, they're doing deadlifts and they're completely subtracting the eccentric motion of it, which helps them with their flexibility, with their mobility, and to be able to grow, to be able to do more deadlifts heavier.
Right.
So that's the one thing that I've been really instilling in all of my clients. And that's something that actually Javier didn't used to do before. And so I was just yelling at Javier. I want to say that was on, what day was that? That was yesterday.
Shout out to Javier, by the way.
I know. He just did 300 pounds deadlift yesterday with eccentric motion. It was gorgeous. That barbell looked like a feather just floating down to the bottom. I was like, yes, that's what it's all about, because then you actually grow.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting that weight off the floor. It's like, can you control it though?
Right.
Control is so important.
Right. I think as a coach too, it's cool to see when I see a client come in and if they're stressed out or they're having a bad day or their kids did something to piss them off or they're going through a divorce, whatever the case might be that they're going through, that's a rough patch, they come in, right? Our job is to change their attitude. Our job is to make them feel better on the way out than they did on the way in. So we as coaches have to instill that, okay, it's kind of like a psychological thing. How do I do this? I can tell she's having a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
How do I switch this? And that's one thing too that I love about my job so much is it's hard work, but at the end of the day, when they leave, they're like, thank you, I feel much better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what counts.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's lifting 300 pounds or whether it's them just doing a simple squat or just going crazy on an aerobike bike because they're so mad or getting a slam ball and slamming it and they're picturing somebody, so they're slamming it, pretending it's their head or something, like something funny, funny like that.
Mm-hmm.
It transfers negative energy into positive energy and they leave so much better with weight lifted off their shoulders. That's the same thing with lifting, with dance. It all intertwines together. It's how you move and how you express yourself through lifting that counts. And so with you and your clients, what's your approach to because everybody's different, right? So what's your approach as far as your first meeting with your client? Like if I were like, hey, Madison, I'm interested in personal training.
Well, of course, I would introduce myself and be like, hi, my name is Madison.
I sure hope so.
Yes. I would tell them, like, I have been a personal trainer for over a year and a half, but I've been dancing for almost 11 years. And so I have a lot of experience in movement, and flexibility is one of my biggest points.
Right.
Because, that's dance. We know flexibility since day one.
Right.
And so I would tell them, like, of course, I train a different way, right? Javier has built me to be more of a functional trainer. So I've absorbed a lot of my information from him. I'm kind of his little protege.
I see that. You're all over his Instagram.
Yes.
I was like, there she goes. Hey, I'm seeing her tomorrow.
Yeah, that's me. And so I would just tell them, like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to achieve? And then from there, I would build their plan, tell them, so this is what I need from you. This is what I expect from you. Because it's not just like, yes, I am going to put them through their workouts. I'm going to prescribe them homework to do without me and make sure that they're holding to a healthy lifestyle, healthy food that they're eating. I don't want to call it a diet, because when you put the word diet on anything, then you're like, okay, I can't eat this. I can't eat that. And that's not what it's about, because so many people, when they do that, then you go on binges and then you like go and you buy a dozen of donuts and then you're just shoving donuts in your mouth.
Turns into a psychological thing.
It does. So when you tell yourself everything's good in moderation, then you understand. You're like, okay, I can have that one pastry on my cheat day, which is Saturday, let's say. And then you are like, okay, what should I be eating? You're like, okay, fruits and vegetables and protein. That's basically it, right? That's what you need. Fruits, vegetables, protein, and then work in healthy carbs throughout that. And then from there, you just make sure calories in, calories out, burn the calories, do the strength training program, and they'll get to their goals. Of course, their program is going to be different, whatever body type that they want to achieve.
Right.
But I give them positive energy, and usually that positive energy is reciprocated.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. So especially like when they're coming in with a bad day or whatever, I always come out, even if it's like 8 a.m. I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and I'm like, good morning. And then
three shots of espresso later.
And I'm here for it. And I give my energy to them, and that is reciprocated, and they just appreciate it. And I appreciate them too.
Have you ever had a client come in and they're like, I saw this new diet, or I saw this new workout, or I saw something on Instagram. Can we try it? Have you ever gone through that?
Yes. Actually, one of my my mom's boyfriend, he's doing keto.
Okay.
Right? He's doing keto. And I just tell him, I'm like, okay, there are some evidence pointing that keto does work.
Right.
But I don't believe in it because for him, he does his keto and then he goes on his binges. And so I tell him, I'm like, well, first off, you need to stick to your training regimen. And you need to not do keto because with keto, you're thinking some foods are bad. But that's not the right talk that you need to be thinking. You're like, if you want to go have pasta, everything's good in moderation. Have a handful, like less than a handful size, like keep it small.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure that you're not overeating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing. So I tell all of my clients, I'm like, send me pictures of your food. I want to see what you're eating. I want to see how you're eating. I want to see how frequently you're eating. And then also we look at sleep, we look at stress levels, and then we see like, what can we do to help that? Because as I am their coach, I'm not just their coach. I want them to succeed in life totally.
Right.
So I help them with every aspect that they need my help on. Like, do you need this support? Do you want me to help you emotionally, physically, spiritually? What do you need? I'm here for it. You know, I take care of all of my clients and I have so much care for them. So whenever they're like, you know what, I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety right now, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to send you this video. Just follow along with it because they don't want to go out and do anything when you're having an anxiety attack. You're like, I'm just going to stay home. And so then I'm just like, I just go and I look up like a yoga video and I'm like, just follow this if you're feeling up to it. And then the next day they're so much better.
Yeah.
It's just about reciprocating that positive energy and sending it to all of your clients and not just your clients. You should be sending that energy to everybody. Right?
And that's why I love my job too. They're your people. You have a little circle. Well, not a little circle. I mean, you have a bunch of little circles. But they're your people. You're rooting for them and they're rooting for you. Whatever you guys are doing, it's a give and take relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, that client-trainer relationship turns into a bond, turns into a friendship, turns into a lifelong friendship.
Mm-hmm.
I've had most of my clients have been with me since I've started 8 years ago. And they're still there. I'm like, you don't need to pay me for training, right? You know what to do. Yeah, but I like you. That's the thing. I like you. I want to keep paying you because I like seeing you. I like your workouts. If I were to do it by myself, yes, I can do it by myself, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love my job. You guys are working as a team together. You're working on how can I make this person feel better? The client's like, let me show Madison what I can do today. Let me show her how much I can lift. And that's why I love my job too. And and then you have the other end of the spectrum too. It's like, I want to get your opinion on this. When girls or guys see Instagram models and they're starving themselves and they're having body image issues, and that creates a whole psychological warfare going on in their head. What is your take on that too? Especially for the younger generations growing up, because I think you've missed that. I was born in the 90s, so we've kind of missed, we know both realms, right?
Mm-hmm.
The kids growing up, they're here, smack dab in front. So what is your take on kids growing up now in age to where everything's on social media? They need to be like this person, or they need to starve themselves, or what do you think about that? Especially the women and the guys and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I was saying earlier, it's not about comparing yourself to other people. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. And so that's when I think it's a huge role for the parents to be like, okay, you only get this amount of time on social media. That's it. And also you have to look at what age is appropriate for kids to go on social media. My mom did not let me go on Facebook till I was, I want to say 13.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So I could not have a Facebook till I was 13. And even then it was restricted, but that's so important. Being a parent, you have to realize social media is toxic for younger generations. Yes, it can be fun. Yes, it can connect them with their friends, which is great, right? I love Facebook because I'm connected to people that have moved away from me and I can keep seeing what they're doing every day. But it's not always just that. It's also comparing yourself to other people, and you see what other people are doing, and then you're like, why am I not doing that? And instead of having that negative thought, like, why do I not look like that? Why am I not doing what they're doing? Like, I feel left out, whatever, FOMO, doesn't matter. You just look at yourself, center yourself. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you? Look in the mirror. And everybody is beautiful. That's the biggest thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So whoever says whatever is beautiful, that's their opinion. It doesn't matter what their opinion is. And it doesn't matter what their opinion of you is. So if they comment anything negatively on you, because cyberbullying is a huge thing, and I'm sure there's so many people.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. So it doesn't matter what anybody's opinion of you is. It's your own opinion of yourself. And so that's just so important. I think it starts from the household, though. You need to have your parents and your siblings and whoever else in your small circle, they need to help boost your confidence as well. So that's a huge thing. With my family, that's been a huge thing too. My mom she's my biggest critic, but she's also my biggest fan. So throughout everything, she's been the dance mom. She's been the pageant mom. She does it all. She will call out if I'm not doing something right. If it doesn't look good, she's like, you need to fix that. I'm like, yes, you're right. I need to, because she holds me accountable. But then she's also like, that was so amazing. Like, it's that positive reinforcement that you need. You don't need somebody always nagging on you. You need to make sure that the people that you surround yourself with are positive people to keep in your life. So even if like the teenage kid does not have parents that are nice to them, then they surround themselves with friends that'll be nice to them. Because if they don't, then their mental state will deteriorate. And that's just, it's so important. If you want to grow, keep people around you that are going to help you grow.
You have to have a strong support system.
Absolutely.
That's
huge.
what it comes down to. Friends, family, coworkers, colleagues, bosses, whatever the case may be. And I've learned this as I've grown older too as well. You have to have a strong support system, because if you don't, later in life, you'll kind of figure out, and a lot of people do, that those negative attributes that those people have on you will tear you down in a way, and if you start at a young age, you'll see it, and hopefully you'll experience it. But a strong, solid base as far as like parents, like your parents have. It seems like you have a really good support system from your family, which is amazing. Do you guys ever have a no phone rule at the dinner table?
No, but the rule that I do have is when I'm out with my friends and we're out at dinner. So we just put our phones off to the side. And then sometimes like whoever grabs their phone first has to pay for the bill. But that's only if we're like having a really rough time with technology, because I believe that face-to-face conversation is so important, and that there's a connection. There's chemicals that are being transferred that you don't get through your phone. Like, people can be sitting this close to each other and they're talking through their phone. And that's an issue that I'm having a lot with my boyfriend. I'm like, we are right next to each other and he's on his phone and I'm just staring at him. I'm like, hello, I'm right here. But that's just, there's some people that are old school and there's some people who are into their devices. And like I was saying earlier, I'm kind of old school. I don't feel the need to always be attached to my device, because I want to experience what's in front of me. Because I can go home later when I'm laying in bed at like 11 p.m. scrolling through, seeing what people did today. It doesn't matter what they're doing right now. It matters what I'm doing right now when I'm out and about. It doesn't matter. You don't need to fully be connected to your phone at all times, especially like if you're at dinner with your friends. You want to be enjoying that time because that time is precious, especially with the COVID, everything happening right now. It's even more important to put that away and be able to appreciate what's in front of you, what's around you.
I completely agree. There's a time and place, right? Like you said, if you're going home, like for this Trainer Talk podcast, like it's important to post and stuff, but there's a time and place, especially with you, because you have a lot of stuff going on. You have to show people, hey, doing this, I'm supporting this, I'm also in this, and this, but there's a time and place for it. Me, I'm old school too, so I have a no phone rule when I go out on dates. I leave my phone in the car.
Oh, wow. I love that.
So I leave my phone in the car, or when I have dinner, even with Roscoe or with my buddies, like we have a no phone rule. We're like, hey, leave your phone in the car, or we have like a phone jar. Or I went to Brazilian steakhouse with my buddies last weekend, and we have a designated phone holder. His name's Jamie. Jamie goes, all right, you guys know what's going on. Phones. All right, Jamie, here you go. We talked. We literally sat there for 3 hours. They had to kick us out because we were talking. And it's very important to have that interpersonal connection with somebody or that connection with 5 or 6 other people because you're only with them for so long. You can go home and mess around on your phone or laptop or whatever device you want when you're there in bed or when you wake up in the morning to check an email or a message or whatever the case may be. But where you're at, you only have so much time with that person or with your group of friends, like if you think about it, Kanye West said like nothing is guaranteed, like if something happens to a friend or a family member or something like that, you don't want to be like, wow, I was at dinner and all I did was play at my phone and now look what happened. It's very important for people to get that through their head nowadays because it's become almost like an addiction and sickness.
It is. It's just like addiction can be anything. Sugar, social media.
Too much of something. That's addiction.
Anything. It's addiction. And it's so real. And you just need to realize, same thing. My favorite motto, everything's good in moderation. It's true. So just everything, your social media, it's good in moderation. And being Miss Canyon Hills, it's kind of hard to have that separation because I have so many social media accounts that I need to keep relevant, right? So I need to be posting almost daily. And so I have my Miss Canyon Hills Instagram, I have my personal, and then I also have my Dance the Path to Wellness Instagram.
Wow.
So I'm trying to manage all of that while also doing everything. And it's just sometimes you just have to put it away and just be like, you know what? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Social media is not the end of the world. It's just a way to connect with other people. And you need to remember that. Like, you don't need to be connecting with other people all the time. You need time for yourself. You need time for people that are in near proximity. Like you have your sister right next to you and you're sitting on your phone. Like, what does she do today? Like, was there anything that was super exciting? You're not going to know if you're just sitting on your phone.
Right.
And there's those times that are so precious. Like when you go to look back and reflect on things, it's like, what really mattered? Was it the social media or was it the interpersonal connection? Was it talking with your sister that one night about whatever she was going through?
No.
Those little things.
No, I completely agree. So without everything, Madison by herself, what do you usually do to kind of like wind down your hobbies? What do you do on your downtime?
I hula hoop. That's my
hula hoop.
Yes, yeah, so that's actually my talent. So like I was explaining earlier, so Miss America, we have the interview phase of the competition. Right. We have the onstage interview portion of the competition, and then we have the talent portion, and then we have the evening gown, which is the red carpet. So basically, my talent is I'm a dancer, right? We all know that, talking about dance. But I recently picked up hula hoop. So I do hula hoop and jazz dance together.
Wow. How does that work?
Oh, it is a beautiful combination. So hula hooping is basically just, I have props, right? So I do 2 hula hoops right now. That's kind of my favorite thing. So I have a hula hoop in either hand. Sometimes I have 2 hoops in one hand. It's pretty cool. But it's just a lot of tricks. It's not just hooping on your waist.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing.
Like a barbecue hula hoop contest. Who can hoop the longest? No, I do a lot of tricks. I do a lot of off-body stuff. So
what does that mean, off-body?
Off of my body. So not actually hula hooping on my waist or chest or knees or neck, wherever, hula hooping on my body. I do off-body tricks. So hands, arms, throwing it in the air, stepping through it, doing all of these other things. And it's actually, I call it mindful meditation because you have to be in the moment, knowing where your hoop is, the connection with your body, what body part you're touching the hoop with, and be able to flow with it. That's what we call it. It's a flow art, hula hoop. So I love dance music. So I don't know if you've heard of the dance community with the whole plur world, peace, love, unity, and respect. Okay.
Explain that.
So when you go to music festivals, and it's going to be a dance music festival, house.
EDC.
Techno, EDC.
All
yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So EDC, they have, the community is called plur. peace, love, unity, and respect.
Okay.
So the whole community, it's very inviting. It's very welcoming. It's very loving. Nobody judges anybody in that community ever. You just don't do that. And so dance is huge for me, right? So I go to dance. So there's different flow arts that are done there. So you see poi, you see hula hoopers, you see, I would call shufflers flow because you're flowing, but there's staff, there's all of these other props that you combine with movement and you flow with it as one. So that's something that I love to do on my downtime. That helps wind me down to be able to have that mindful connection with my hula hoops and become one with my hoops and flow with it.
It's good. It's good that you did that because it takes your mind off of the world for a quick second and it gives you a break because you're not thinking about everything else that Madison needs to do. You're like, okay, where is this hoop going? Where is this going? And then when you go back, you're like, that was a good breakaway from reality for a good hour. Now I can go back and do what I need to do to get it done. You know, it's funny that you said shuffling because what was it? In 2010, when I graduated high school, I went to EDC in Los Angeles right when they had it in Los Angeles. Now they moved it to Vegas. And I always used to shuffle. Even with my friends, we did this really dumb thing where in high school, they had these like pep rallies. And it was me and 5 other guys. And we had this like dance shuffle thing going on. And it was so much fun. It like brought me back to memories after you said that. What's ploy? What is that?
Plur.
Plur.
Oh, poi?
Yeah, poi.
Poi. Okay. So it's basically, I think it's from like Hawaiian culture. They have, it's basically like a string. And there's a ball at the end. And so you move it around and do different tricks and stuff. You can throw it around. And
it kind of reminds me of like a yo-yo.
Kind of. And so another flow art I missed was spin flag. And I actually, in the latest Disney parade, I do spin flag. So it's this like rectangle and there's like a weight at the corner and you kind of move it around and you do cool
How long did you do that for at Disney?
I actually was only able to do 2 parades before the parade was shut down because of COVID.
Okay.
Which was crazy because I had a sub role. So whenever somebody needed time off, I was like, I'm here for it, which is great for my schedule because like school, work, everything. It was best for me to just be like pick up whenever I wanted to for Disney. But it was the beginning of the parade when it first opened. Nobody wanted to give up their shifts. They're like, nope, I am so happy to be here. But when it got busy in the summer, they would be like, no, it's hot. I want time off. And that's when I would be like, hello, I will take your shift. But no.
How long did you work for Disney for in total years?
3.5 years.
3.5? What made you want to work for Disney?
Actually, funny story. I was talking to a guy and he was a Jungle Cruise skipper. And he was like, you could be a princess. I was like, I would love to be a princess. And so I just started going to the auditions. And I went to every audition. It took me 1 year and 11 auditions to finally get to be in the Pixar Play Parade as a dancer. Yes.
They make you jump through that many hoops?
Yes, they do. They really do. But they know what they want. So they want loyal performers. They want people who really want to work there because that is what makes the environment at Disney so special because everybody really wants to be there. And that's why it's so heartbreaking that all of us are getting laid off because we worked so hard to get where we are and we've sacrificed everything to be there,
Put in the hours.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to have parades again. And I know all of us are going to want to audition to be a part of the magic once again. And they say that they'll try to hire us before they hire new people. So fingers crossed.
I heard about that because a lot of people that I've talked to that worked at Disney love it there. They're like, I can never leave. I was like, I guess everything's really good there then. They take care of their employees, I'm guessing, correct?
Well, maybe they're regular employees, but for the parade performers, they did not take care of us the way that they should have.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So we are dancing on concrete, jumping, spinning, ruining our bodies essentially we just got a raise. So now it was $16 an hour. And we had a minimum, I feel like the longest shift I ever had was 8 hours there, but it was usually like a minimum of 6-hour shifts. So you'd have 6-hour shifts depending on your grid for the week, whether you were like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or if you were a sub like me, you would only be every once in the blue moon, you know. It just kind of, it depends on the parade. And then, so I did the Christmas parade last year and it was great. But I was in the parade like 4 days, 5 days out of the week and my body was hurting. Like I had shin splints and everything. It was rough. And they're not compensating us. We're temporary employees, like casual, temporary, part-time employees. We're seasonal.
Oh,
I've been working there for 3.5 years and I'm seasonal.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't have any benefits. I mean, other cast members, they get these sign-ins, right, to sign in their family to Disney. I would get 3 tickets every 150 hours I worked.
That's it?
That's it. So actually, I'm very excited. I'm going to Walt Disney World before I am no longer a cast member. So I get to have magic in my life one more time before it's gone. So that's very exciting. But it's rough to see all of this happen to everybody. Just the magic's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Disney, it's so important. It's huge. I mean, a lot of people, they don't understand. They don't get it. Some people are not Disney people.
Right.
But for the people who love Disneyland, it's rough not having
this
it open
guy
for
does.
so long.
We have a huge Disney fan right here, Roscoe.
Oh, hell yeah.
He always tells me.
I've been to Disney World like 10 times.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. This is going to be my second time.
It's amazing.
And I haven't been since I was like 11.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Epcot is definitely the best.
Okay, well, good. I'm going to Epcot. I just can't go to Hollywood Studios because it's blacked out.
I have no
Really?
idea what you guys
Why?
are
It's
talking
because
about.
of Star Wars Land.
Oh, I know that, but like they only had like the front half of it open when I went. Did they completely black it out now, or like?
For Hollywood Studios, it's just blocked out for cast members.
Oh, so you can still go as just like a regular person. You just can't go as a cast member.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh.
You just have to pay more money, and I don't want to.
Splurge.
Splurge, maybe.
Splurge.
So you're a big Disney person then, right?
Oh,
You're,
I love
like,
it. I grew up watching all of the movies. I love it. I grew up going to Disneyland and I watched the parades. I just
Right.
never imagined. I was like, maybe I could be one of them until one of my friends was like, hey, you know what? You could be a princess. You could actually do this. Like, it's a possibility. I was like, wait, what? It's a possibility? I can work at Disneyland? And then
Did
here
you
I
ever,
am.
as a kid, dress up in the little princess outfits? Like for every time you watched like a Cinderella or a Snow White or something like that?
No, but I did have, I believe they were Little Mermaid. I had Little Mermaid green glass slippers. So I mean, it's kind of like a combination of Cinderella and Little Mermaid. But
Right. Who's
I
your
don't
favorite
know.
character?
who's my favorite character
Yeah.
or who's my favorite princess?
Favorite princess?
Okay, my favorite princess would have to be Aurora, Sleeping Beauty. She's just the best, in
Why?
my opinion. She's just classic. I don't know. There's something about it. It just has that classic energy. She just has beautiful blonde hair. She sings great.
Okay. So
Wow.
out of you, how many siblings do you have in your family?
I have a sister, and then I have two half-sisters that live in Michigan that are just kind of over there, you know?
Right. Are you the oldest or are you
I'm the youngest. I'm
you're
the baby.
youngest?
Mhm.
Wow. I'd figure since like what you do and all that you're in, you're the oldest. Because usually in the oldest, they have to set an example for their siblings because they look at the oldest for
Mhm.
advice or work ethic or anything else that they do in life.
Mhm.
So you're the youngest and then you have your full sister. Do you look up to her?
Oh, absolutely. I always looked up to her when I was younger. She's an artist. She can draw. I draw stick figures. She can sing. I can dance. I can't sing.
Right.
So there's one thing. I'm a dancer, right? I was the one. I'm the most outspoken of my family, I would like to say. So I told my mom, I was like, I want to do dance lessons. My sister never said that. She never said, I want to do dance lessons. And so she always kind of blames me on that. And she's like, Mom spent all of this money on your dance lessons, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I asked for it. You didn't ask for it. You
Well,
can't
you're
get
blunt
mad
and
at me
honest.
for that.
You're honest.
That's
You
the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? So you get what you ask for in this world. And that's the most important thing. So I understand that I have some sort of wisdom that other people don't have.
Right.
Right. And so she just needs to understand that sometimes. Like, you get what you ask for. She's very, very timid, very shy. She's starting to become more. So she went to Cal State University Fullerton. She got her bachelor's degree in business. I want her to go back in entrepreneurship and get a master's degree in entrepreneurship because she's helping my mom with her hair salon. My mom owns a hair salon.
Wow.
And she's managing my mom's hair salon, which is incredible, right?
Wow, that's amazing.
So a 26-year-old basically running this huge hair salon in downtown Fullerton.
What's the hair salon called?
Salon Technique.
Shout out to Salon Technique.
I know, AA. It's a great salon. It's beautiful, tall ceilings. So with all of this COVID happening, it's a safe place because ceilings are super high. It's a warehouse. It's great. They do everything they can, and I just love it.
I can kind of connect the dots as to far as why you work so hard too. It seems like your family is just a bunch of entrepreneurs just kind of doing their own thing. And you saw, you're like, I could do that too.
Yes.
You know, because kids kind of see what their parents do essentially. And the parents pave the way for their kids. It's all about what examples are the parents doing and what are the kids seeing from the kids' eyes? Because a kid will, even at 2 years old, the kid will pick up on stuff that mom or dad would do.
Absolutely.
You know, and they'll see that. They'll be like, whoa. Like my friend's daughter, he's like on his phone and stuff like that, and he unlocks it. She picked up on that, and she knows how to unlock his phone now. He's like, that's not a good thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think it's, from what I'm understanding from you, you guys are a bunch of hardworking individuals. And I admire that because not a lot of, I'm not going to say not a lot of people, but it's very rare to find a family who all works as a team like you guys do. And I think that's like, in the long run, that's a very successful household. Wouldn't you say?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom, she raised me and my sister all on her own, single mom. And she opened her own business,
Congrats to her.
Which is incredible. That's a big feat for one woman to do, you know? And then she just instilled the importance of education in me and my sister. And she just kind of told us, like, whatever you want to do in this world, you can do it. Just hard work, get there, do what you can, and your hard work will pay off. And that's the biggest thing. So that's what I've learned, and that's what I've done. Like, you can do anything that you set your heart to.
Do you look at your mom as more of a hero figure in your life as far as the examples she set? Like, do you look up to her?
I, of course, look up to her. She is my hero. You know, it's incredible being, like, I could never imagine raising 2 kids all on your own, doing everything that she's doing, opening a business. Like, she's done an incredible job. She's like, I'm surprised that I'm not worse off, you know? Like, I'm doing great things, and I have to thank her for that. Yeah.
So what's next now for Madison? Like,
what's next?
What are your future steps? What are you trying to get to? Where do you think you're going to go as far as a whole with your pageant and training and dancing and teaching and all these different things, all these different little categories that you're in? What is next for you?
Okay, well, as soon as the quarantine and COVID is under control, I would love to apply to grad school, get my doctorate degree in psychology, clinical psychology, so I can be able to open a wellness center with different forms of therapy. I want to do clinical therapy, and I want to also do dance therapy because, like I said, dance saved my life, and I want to show others that it can save theirs too, because therapy is not a one-size-fits-all. That's something that I've learned, and that's something that a lot of people need to learn because they're going through their therapy treatment, they're going through their psychiatry, and it's not enough sometimes. And so they're just really sad, and it's like, that's not what life is.
Right.
And I try to tell them, like, you can live happily. Like, you just have to look at your life, see what adjustments you can make to do that. And that's why I believe that I need to open this wellness center. It's my life's purpose, right? So I'm going to open this wellness center with different forms of therapy so everybody can get their therapy that they need, right? So if they need to talk it out, yes, go see a therapist, go see a counselor.
Right.
But sometimes that's not enough.
Right.
So then you also need sports therapy. You need dance therapy. You need art therapy, whatever it is. Therapy is not just sitting down on a couch talking out your problems. And that's the biggest thing. So I try to tell everybody, like, look at what's around you, smell the roses, because even just going on a walk, that's therapeutic.
Okay. Yeah. So that's your goal, huh?
Yeah.
As far as
doctorate.
Madison?
I'm going to get a doctorate, open the wellness center. I also want to get my master's degree in dance therapy. I don't know if I
Jesus,
said that.
you're
I
doing
love
yeah.
school. School is
Yeah, I could
just,
tell.
it's amazing. I love it. I love learning, and not learning right now, just being out of school is like weird. I miss it. I want to be in the classroom learning, picking up knowledge. It's just part of who I am.
So let's fast forward 30 years from now. What advice would you want to give your future self as far as accomplishments and morals and goals and everything that pertains to that? What, like 55, right? What would you want? What advice would you give yourself? Like
At 55?
yeah, or like either we can reverse it, like 55 looking down on you now, or even to the kids that you're teaching and coaching and for dance. Like what advice could you give them even?
Well, it's never too young to think about what you want to do with your life, right? You're never too young. If you realize what you want to do, start working towards it as soon as you realize. Like, I realized that I wanted to go into psychology after my counselor told me, like, go take a psychology course because then you're actually going to understand what you're going through, right? And so since I was a smart woman at the time, before my concussion that led to my chemical imbalance and all my medical health issues, I went and I took AP psychology and I fell in love with it. And so it's like, as soon as you fall in love with something and you see your pathway of where you're going with your life, go there. And every single day, ask yourself what you can do to get closer to your end goal. Because if you continuously work towards your goal, you're going to get there. Chipping it away slower will be easier than not really finding out what you like to do, and then you're just going around in circles. So if you like something, latch onto it. Dive deep into it. Keep chipping away at it, and you'll get there before you know it. Instead of being like, oh, I like this a little bit. Oh, I like this a little bit. Like, actually figure out if you like it. Dive deep into it. You're never too young to, like, it. I don't know. Let's say you're 12 years old and you're really into psychology. Get yourself some psychology books.
Right.
Read about it. See if you like it, and go from there. Keep reading. Reading is so important too. Reading is part of learning. So just always chip away towards your goal. Every single day, ask yourself, what can you do to get closer to your goal? And just keep getting closer and closer. And when you're having those moments of doubt, of not having motivation, any of that, just reevaluate. Ask yourself, be like, am I happy with what I'm doing? Where am I right now? Where can I go to get myself closer to the version of myself that I want to be?
Essentially reassuring yourself.
Absolutely. And it's having that internal discussion of where you are, what you want to do, and how to get there.
Right. And that's the thing too, that people, I want to kind of touch on that. You're saying dive deep. People are afraid to take risks.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I see. People are very conservative where they're at in life. I'm fine here. I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to do this, but I don't want to take that risk. I think it's very important, especially for younger kids as well, or adults. If you want to do something, going on what you said, do it. Take a risk. Because if you don't take that risk, you're always going to be, what if? What if I didn't do that? What if I didn't go here? What if I didn't take that chance? What if I didn't ask that girl out or go on this job hunt or whatever the case may be? You're always going to be what if. And to kind of touch up on that, it's very important for me or you or anybody else in life to do what they love and take a risk doing it. It's hard. It is very hard to get where you want to go. Nothing happens overnight. The people that they're like, oh, that happened overnight. That person worked 10 years behind closed doors to get where he's at now. All the entrepreneurs, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Steve Jobs, everybody, all those guys, they have failed many times over and been in bankruptcy more than I can count on my fingers and toes just to get where they're at today. So I think it's very important, just like you said, dive deep and take risks, because if you don't, you're always going to regret that in life.
Absolutely. 100%.
So, but hey, I greatly appreciate you coming on the show, Madison. Where can people reach you as far as all of your Instagram accounts or Facebook?
Okay, so you can follow me on Maddy Coryell on Instagram. So that's MADIECORYELL. You can also follow Miss Canyon Hills.
Okay.
So that's Miss and then Canyon, like the Grand Canyon, but just regular canyon, and then hills.
Okay.
And then also you can follow my social impact page, which is called The Path to Wellness, #2.
Facebook?
That's all on Instagram.
Okay.
And then if you want to on Facebook, you can just search and then you should find all of those also spelled the same way on Facebook.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Greatly appreciate having you. Okay.
Of course, it's been an honor.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.